Do you want better relationships at work and at home?
Then we've got the insights to make it happen.
I'm Larry.
And I'm Dax, and this is Enrich Relationships Part 2.
Practical skills to lead, connect, and grow. In a previous podcast, we talked about chastisement or correcting versus chastening or teaching. In this podcast, we'd like to talk more about praise and why it's important to praise in public. Whenever we're going to teach or correct, hopefully more teaching, that's something that really ought to be done in private. But praise, it's very important, is done in public. There's several reasons for this, but right off the bat, we get what we reward. If we do it publicly, then we're going to reinforce that our team and our group and our family is about positive behavior. That's the standard, that we're always looking for things that are done right and building it in a positive manner. Many years ago, there was a movie made, Catch Them Doing Good. And if that's what we look for, if that's our focus, then those are the kinds of things that we'll notice. If our focus is constantly correcting the red pen model of marking things wrong and catching everything that's wrong, then that will become our focus. Our core will be all on correction. It's so important that we praise and reinforce positive behavior.
And that applies so well to just the term parenting. A lot of times when you hear parenting online, it's associated with discipline, or it's just another word for discipline. And yeah, in part, that's true. Parenting is also recognizing successes and celebrating growth and achievement. So just as much as parenting might be correcting and disciplining, parenting is also praising. And so as you talked about that, it made me think of how we strive, and granted, we're not perfect at it, but we strive in our family to look for ways to acknowledge and celebrate the good work our kids are doing. When they make good choices, when they help other people, when they do something that makes us feel good, we try to make it a point to publicly recognize them and not just wait until later in the day and say, that one thing you did, that was good. Granted, that's a good thing to do. It's always good to give private praise, but public praise helps the kids see that that's a priority for us as a family, that we're constantly making good choices and we're looking for ways to help others.
And it's funny, though that may sound simple, you've done that powerfully. In fact, I'll tell us a story of what I saw this week as we've been with you and with Monica. As you guys took Levi, your oldest son, to soccer this week, he had a practice, and tomorrow he has a game. And you took a soccer ball that he played with, and then your younger daughter, Vivi, got to play with it after. And as she saw him and she saw how much fun he was having, then she was emulating doing the same thing with the soccer ball. You guys were cheering for him, made videos that he got to watch, and now he can't even wait for tomorrow. His confidence is so solid. You've validated the efforts that he's made so far, and you've really given him a sense of value as far as him as a person. And soccer, he's so excited about it, even though this will be his very first game. It was his very first practice, but he just as well be a world champion because of the way you've built him up.
I appreciate that. I see it even at work. I know an individual who has said multiple times that she doesn't like public praise. She doesn't want to be put on a pedestal or celebrated in public. It makes her feel embarrassed. And she prefers just being told privately that she did well. And so my boss has done a good job of meeting her there. But when this peer of mine, this teammate, this friend, made a really huge contribution to the organization in a project that really changed how we're all doing our presentations across the company, my boss made it a point in an all-hands meeting to call her out. And of course, my friend was red in the face and embarrassed, but it did so much more than just give kudos to her. One, it allowed other people visibility into what she was doing that didn't realize it was her who made that huge contribution. So it allowed them to appreciate her. Two, it set that bar of, this is what we expect. We expect this level of contribution and this impact to the organization at my friend's level. And so other people got to see what good looks like without having to be corrected themselves or told they're doing something wrong. They could celebrate with that other person and see what they needed to be doing or look for ways to meet that same bar. So it set expectations for others, it boosted confidence, and it allowed that person to really receive the recognition that they deserved for all of that hard work. To that end, we find that public praise is so important for kids, for adults, at work, and definitely at home.
Well, and as I was thinking about that employee, I'm sure that she felt kind of a psychological safety, if you will, in that don't praise me in public, kind of insulating herself from that. But how interesting that when she was called out, as far as in a very public but very positive way, in a very accurate and sincere way by her boss, that it actually gave a stronger sense of psychological safety. And especially not only to her, but also to the entire group, that like, we will only use this when it's accurate, it's earned, and it's truly felt. I love that example, and I think that's such an important part of praise and how it really does build people. And it's such an important thing for any kind of a leader, a parent, or any kind of a leader in an organization, to always look for sincere, accurate, and positive praise.
So as you're listening, if you're thinking of a change you want to see at work or at home, instead of only focusing on how you can tell people to change, put them down, or chastise, consider how you can praise in public and reinforce those positive behaviors to build that morale, build that motivation, and strengthen your relationship with that person.
Thank you for tuning into today's episode, and be sure to check out our other episodes where we explore additional ways to enrich your relationships at work and with your family.
Before you take off, we invite you to subscribe and share what you liked from this episode with friends, colleagues, and family. Take a moment and share feedback and suggestions with us directly at enrichrelationshipspodcast@gmail.com.
Lasting change comes from enriching your relationships both at work and at home.